Hello and welcome back to the Average Initiative, the average podcast by average guys that know an average amount about an average amount. We're going to talk about it anyway. My name is Lewis.
Oh yeah, I'm George. I'm trying something new that ain't very good. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I just down like a half cup of coffee, so like I'm ready.
Nice. I just dribbled my water all over myself, so I'm also ready.
Ha, you damn baby.
No, you.
Oh. How have you been, Lewis?
Yeah, I've been good. We've had a little bit of time off, haven't we?
We have, because I turned 24.
You did. Welcome to the world of old people.
I turned 24, I looked in the mirror, my hairline's getting further back, and my tummy's getting bigger. So.
I'm there with you, bro. I'm literally right there with you. And now the pubs have opened back up again. It's going to get even worse.
I know, it's just, I don't know. It's just, especially working from home, like, biscuits are so good.
They are.
Thing is, right, I'm going to get into another cold, hot egg thing here, right?
God,
but
right. I'm ready for it this time.
No, okay, this kind of leads in. So, you know why I said I don't like cold food? Like, I don't like cold eggs. I prefer food hot, right?
Yeah,
so that's one of the reasons
we know you're weirdo. It's fine.
It says egg mayonnaise boy. Anyway, that's one of the reasons I don't eat a ton of fruit, because I don't like cold food. Like, I want. So I like.
Are you about to tell me you warm up your melons in the microwave?
No, I microwave frozen vegetables and have that in a bowl for a snack.
Do you know? Sometimes I wonder if I really know you.
No, but anyway, this is completely irrelevant.
Okay,
but, like,
sorry.
This bit you probably agree with. Thing is, when people are like, well, if you're hungry, have some fruit rather than like a packet of crisps. Thing is, I know exactly how those packet of crisps are going to taste. I know the texture and I know exactly what they're going to be. Yeah. Fruit is a bit of a gamble every time because you never know if you're going to get a dodgy bit.
I guess so, but then I guess by that logic, like, you never know if the packet of crisps is going to be destroyed into tiny little bits. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here.
Yeah, but you get. I know
what you mean.
Like, I do eat fruit. I had a banana today, in fact. But like, every time you eat a bit of fruit, you're like, is this also, going to be alright?
Do you not find that like fruit, because it's sweet, it doesn't really feel like it's filling you up at all?
Yeah,
food
exactly.
Does not feel like sustenance to me.
No, it has to be like savoury food.
Yeah, like I'd rather have I know a lot of people think I'm weird for this, but I'd rather have a pork pie than like an apple.
Pork pies are an elite snack. Do not feel ashamed for enjoying them.
Thank you.
I'm glad we finally agree on something.
The jelly's fine, you know. I'll take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here just licking out the jelly.
Okay, good. Then I would have a problem with you.
One time after going clubbing, I was really hungover. Next day, and I went to a corner shop, and they did this like fuck off massive pork pie, and it was 1,000 calories.
Oh.
And I ate it in one sitting.
Oh, that made me physically recoil then. Oh, it sent shivers down my spine.
Great hangover food. Anyway, we're wildly off topic already, but this is great.
This is great.
Some of our better.
I want a pork pie. Oh.
But we've been off for a couple of weeks. Had a little break. So we've got two. Oh wait, no, I'm supposed to ask you, aren't I, George? What are we talking about today?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked today, Lewis. So we're covering episodes 4 and 5 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I said, because we took time off, so we're going to compile them both into one. Plus, then this means we can kind of feel less guilty about talking about the finale next week, and it gives us a bit more time to ramble. And you haven't got to listen to so much in one go.
Yeah.
Plus, we're hopefully doing some more non-Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff soon.
Yeah, I really think. I think that will hopefully bring in more listeners. You know, because you don't want to jump into a series about a series that's their fourth episode into the 5th episode of the series. That's just confusing. Am I wrong?
I followed you like an arrow. I have no idea what he's on about, people.
Okay.
I'm not actually his friend. I'm just his parole officer. I just have to do this to keep him out of trouble.
Whoa. We don't talk about
that. So yes, episode 4 and 5, both rather good episodes. I felt 5 definitely more so than 4, but I have literally just got out from watching it. So
I genuinely think this series has got better with each episode.
Yeah, I still. Yeah, I think it's odd because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna want to go back and rewatch it.
I think I definitely will.
I probably will.
I won't do it straight away, but I definitely think I will.
But I do feel it's a bit like after episode 5. This is gonna be so hard because I'm gonna be talking about episode 5 so much. But episode 5, I feel like they're kind of finally starting to get to the end of some of those loose ends I was worried about before.
Yeah.
where I'm like, well, this. I feel like this could have happened a bit sooner. If I didn't know that next week was the last episode, I'd have been like, all right, I'd allow a bit more like Madripoor kind of type episodes.
Yeah.
Whereas because of that, I was like, well, I feel like we should have been here sooner. I feel like this could have benefited from being like 8 episodes rather than like 6.
I agree with you there, but I also think that like we went into it thinking it was going to be, you know, the Falcon and Winter Soldier on their adventures together. Whereas I think especially because it's season 1, you got to take it more as if it was like a long movie. And, you know, like look at the Avengers film, the first one. Like, they're not just the Avengers the whole time, are they? I think it's just that, but stretched over 6 episodes.
I suppose so. That's true.
So if they do season 2, you would hope it would be more, you know.
Yeah, it was just I said last time, you know, there just seems to be a lot of threads, and that was a similar thing WandaVision was doing. It was just a lot of storylines, and you know, I think they've handled it better this time around than WandaVision, but. I mean, I'm a bit worried that is everything going to be able to get tied up? Like episode 5, we're still introducing new characters.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that later. I have an idea of who that new character is. In particular.
I have a couple of theories. I think one of them is the same as yours.
Yeah. Let's start with episode 4. Oh, just quickly, I just had a thought. My brain's going all over the place. You know, like. When you have like a TV show, like a cartoon, like something like Scooby-Doo, for example, and then you hear they're doing a movie about it, and I never get too excited because you want the movie to just be like, you know, like a big long episode kind of thing, like something they would do in the cartoon. But then if you look at the Scooby-Doo movie, like it's just the most weird shit. Like they go to an island and they're all broken up, and there's like Scrappy-Doo's in a robot, and it's like, why can't you just do
a mystery?
Why can't you just do something like the TV show, but like a movie? And I think that's it, sort of like in this case where we thought, oh, they're going to do Falcon and Winter Soldier on an adventures together kind of thing. But it's not. They have to do something completely different. And sometimes I think they should just do the thing.
Well, funny enough, you picked Scooby-Doo as an example, because that's what I think a lot of people had a problem with the new Scoob film, is it wasn't a mystery, it was just like an adventure film.
Yeah.
Like, that had the Scooby-Doo characters in, but it wasn't like a mystery and then like unmasking people. I mean, you do unmask people in it, but like it wasn't a Scooby-Doo thing.
Didn't that cross over with something else, like a Space Ghost or something?
Space Ghost or something like that. Because Dick Dastardly's the villain. We just caught the end of it the other day.
Is he the one from Wacky Races?
Yeah, it's like a weird like Hanna-Barbera universe they're doing rather than. Why are we talking about Scooby-Doo?
I don't know. Sorry.
So, episode 4 kicks off with...
The whole world is watching.
Yes.
Is the title.
Oh, right. I thought you said it kicks off with
No. But it's the Wakanda scene, isn't it? Wakanda.
Yeah. Wakanda. Bruce Banner, you racist.
Wakanda. Yeah, he needs to work on that.
Getting cancelled, lads. Sebastian Stan's best acting to date. Maybe the best acting... in this whole series, maybe next to Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas.
Whatever his name is.
No, he's Bradley. I'm just kidding. It's obviously, so it's him and Io, and she's trying out the words on him, and you know he's having flashbacks and all sorts. And what I did wonder is, so are these words just like universally translated? Like,
no, I think she's saying them in Russian.
Is she?
Yeah, she's saying the same thing that.
Oh, I thought she was speaking like Wakandan or something.
No, I think she is.
Am I gonna get cancelled now?
Ooh.
But also, does it have to be in Russian? I've always wondered.
I would assume so, because one of the words is longing, which I feel like is quite a regular word that you could say otherwise. But then I suppose it's got to be in sequence.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would assume so, because Zemo, you see Zemo like studying them and learning them, so he's obviously trying to learn how to pronounce it.
True, but yeah, so he obviously has a bit of a cry, which I'm pretty sure they're like a mixture of sadness and happy tears. It was a really effective scene, and it's nice that they're going back and sort of filling in some of the gaps. Like, so you just sort of assume that Shuri and that lot sort of sorted him out, but it's nice to actually see it.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, again, I don't think because we haven't got time to. But she says like, "Oh, I won't let you hurt anyone."
Yeah,
it'd be nice to have seen a failed attempt where she does have to stop him and show that like,
yeah,
even the Dora Milaje can stop the Winter Soldier. Like,
yeah,
or I don't know, like as he's trying to fight it off, and then he like reaches a hand out, and she's like bats it down. It's like, all right, start again. And it's like, oh, okay, fine.
Well,
and
I mean, he seems like he's struggling when she's saying the words, so maybe that is just him still resisting it. Because otherwise, I don't know. Yeah, but I know what you mean. It would be nice to see that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, in First Class, X-Men, where
he's
trying to teach him to move the satellite, and he fails at first, and then he does it, and it's like a really powerful moment.
Yeah.
But I suppose we do get to see them go head to head later on, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'd still love this scene. Like, I do think Sebastian Stan is so good in the series.
Yeah, do you know it's weird because he has these like strong emotional beats and he's really good at it. But then there's other times, especially in Civil War, where like he's just sort of casual conversation, and I don't buy it as much. Like when they're fighting Spider-Man, he's like,
I was going to say that bit is, like, that bit always gets me. And I'm like,
I don't know. But then he seems to be good at the more emotional stuff. I mean, episode 5, I think him and Sam really get into the old dramatic acting, which is nice.
So from Wakanda, we then cut to him talking to AO in the streets, doesn't he? And he's like,
I think it's IO. I think it's been
IO,
confirmed.
Hashtag. And he says, look, Zemo's just a means to an end.
Yeah.
Like, come on, I need a favour. And she's like, fine, you've got 8 hours?
I think so, yeah. It just goes to show that how close he is with the Wakandans now, though. That they'll literally you just broke out the guy that killed our king, but we'll give you 8 hours. I think him and Io seem to have quite a special bond. It seems.
Yeah, I did almost think is this going to be like a romance?
I thought that too. Yeah, especially by the end of episode 5.
Episode 5. Oh yeah. There's a dog going off in the distance.
Woof.
Gonna stamp on it. No, I'm not going to stamp on it. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's not the dog's fault.
To pay. No. So then they're obviously looking for Zemo, and they're still working with him at the time. And then, am I right in thinking, is this the one where they talk to the kids, or was that the last episode? Episode 3, where they get the location of Carly.
Let me just skip through it. Yeah, that's this episode. Yeah, because obviously Sam and Bucky are going off doing their, their classic spy thing, and Zemo goes up with some candy to some kids, which is a little bit creepy, but I guess that's his
especially
shtick.
while singing Bar Bar Black Sheep. I don't know what it is, but it's don't trust him.
But this is also oh, sorry, Karen.
I was going to say, but then you forget that he's a father, so it's it makes sense that he knows how to interact with kids.
I also think this is the return of the sort of ruthless Zemo and the smart Zemo, because obviously in the last episode it was a lot more kooky, he was doing and dancing, all that sort of stuff, whereas this episode's a bit more, he's more methodical, and you can tell that he sort of has his own plan.
Yeah, I mean, I love Zemo as much as the next guy, but I do think he's one of those people that's less is more, too much of him, and he kind of loses that fun.
Yeah, I think it was good because obviously we'll get to it in episode 5, but I think that I don't think it'll be the last we see of him, but he sort of has a conclusion to his involvement in this series, it seems like.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's strange because he says about Sam and Bucky, he's oh, you see those men there, they're not to be trusted. And then he just tells them anyway, and it's well,
yeah, because I thought maybe he had something sneaky going on, he was going to double cross them.
He was going to go to Carly.
Oh, do you know what it was? It's because he was, he drip feeds them information, doesn't he? So they don't just, off him kind of thing. He's withholding it, and if he tells the kids, so the kids then don't go and tell them themselves, and then he has no leverage.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But then I feel like we could have seen the kids trying that, going up to or one of the kids, not one of the kids, Bucky or Sam, being hey, can I play football? And they all just hide away and go away, and it's and then have a shot of Zemo being I don't know, guess they're just like me or something,
Yeah, I guess I think. Maybe
I don't know,
it's just him.
It just seems
it's probably just him covering all his bases, just in case.
Yeah,
can't show everything, I suppose.
Anyway, so then they go off to the funeral. Oh no, because then John Walker pops up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always just popping up, being annoying.
He is. It's really weird because you want to like him, and you also want to hate him, but then you end up liking him, and you also end up hating him. It's a very weird relationship you have with him.
It's sort of he's one of those friends that's you don't really like him, but you sort of feel sorry for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like
So you let
it's
him
gonna be
come
so
around,
hard. Like,
but...
yeah, like especially with episode 5.
Yeah.
Like
It's hard not to jump ahead.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna jump ahead, but to come back, there's a reason.
Yeah.
But like the first bit of episode 5, the opening,
Mm.
I will leave it vague in case, just so we can talk about it later in a bit. But like, Sam feels very sorry for having to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I feel like we never got to see the other side of that relationship beforehand.
In what sense?
So, like, in episode 4, in this one, like, you know, Walker's there and they end up working together begrudgingly, the 4 of them, or 5 if you include Zemo. But it would have been nice if, at this point, we had a Walker go to Sam like, hey, look, like, I'll be honest, I'm way over my head. I could do with some help here, or... I know that doesn't play with the rest of the series.
Yeah,
or
I suppose that's like the opposite of what he's about.
Because I feel, yeah, but I feel like we should have just had a tiny little bit of him being like open with Sam, or vulnerable with Sam.
When they're on the truck in episode 2, and he's like, "Look, I'm just trying to be the best Captain America. It'd be really helpful if I had, Captain Wingman on my side."
Yeah,
and Sam's like, "No."
Well, yeah, that's they had that bit, but then have him come back and grow as a character and be like, look, okay, I'm still struggling here. We'll take your lead, but come on, I need you. So Sam's like, fine, all right, it's just whatever. Like, I don't speak for Bucky. So then later on, when Walker does walk in, it's a bit more like, oh, you did just use me as a means. Like,
that's pretty much exactly what happens, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're all like, none of them really like each other from the off.
Yeah, but why?
Because I feel like we should have had a bit of like, oh, maybe they could be friends, and oh, okay, no.
I feel like
you
John
changed the whole
Walker,
story. So
yeah, that kind of changes this whole trajectory of like from the beginning, he's been this sort of guy. Like, he just wants to, he's that guy that wants to excel in like every class. He just wants to be the best kind of thing.
Yeah, but I never get the idea he's big-headed or anything.
Like, jumping forward again a bit, when he gets his ass handed to him, and he's like, oh, they're not even super soldiers. Like, he just can't quite believe that he's not good enough. He just can't believe it.
Well, yeah, that's like that. That's a brilliant moment. But I don't know. I can't explain what it is. But like, I don't feel like I'm feeling the way I should feel about him. I'm not saying I feel the opposite. I just don't feel this strongly like, oh, this guy is just the worst.
I don't think
he hasn't really done anything to make him the worst.
I don't think you're meant to think he's the worst guy ever. I think he's troubled and he's just not the right man for the job. And I think you're supposed to feel sorry for him. But at the end of the day, if you act like a dick, then you're a dick, regardless.
But then,
I don't think we're supposed to hate him. I think
that guy's face.
But that's what makes him a good. That's what makes him a good character, isn't it? Because you feel for him whilst not agreeing with him. Like, yeah, he's complex. He's a bit more complex than the usual Marvel, side villain.
Oh, 100%, yeah. But it's just, I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because him and like Bucky and Sam haven't had a full interaction as much as I feel like they could have. So then, that relationship isn't there to then not be there. Does that make sense?
I think I know what you mean. I don't feel like they need to have more.
I'll wait till we get on to episode 5 because it makes more. I'll have more to say there. Yeah. Like during that bit.
So jumping back to episode 4, there's the bit where the Flag Smashers open up that grave and they get the serum out of it, the super soldier serum.
Oh,
and there's
yeah.
one bit I didn't think they push a brick in to get the stuff out, and I'm like, how do you get that brick out again? Because they push it in flush. Yeah. And I was like, well, how are they going to then cover? Like, how do they cover that back up?
Maybe they have like a really tiny stick.
What, like
wiggle it in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they use their super soldier car radio to just like pinch it outwards.
Yeah, there's actually another brick you push in, and then that pulls that out, and there's a really complex mechanism.
Oh, it's like Jenga. You go around the back and you push the other side.
Yeah.
I suppose not like they need to put anything back now because they've taken the serum out. So they have, I think they had 12 left, was it? Because they used 8.
Yeah, they get given 20 in the. Yeah, I think that's the idea. Is there was 12 left.
Yeah. What you do find in this episode, especially when John Walker and Zemo and all that are together, is that Lamar Hoskins, Battlestar, he seems to be the voice of reason for John. Like, he seems to agree with Sam a little bit more.
Yeah, he's obviously the kind of, level-headed one, which makes sense because, like, going back to what we were saying about John Walker, is if he is feeling the pressure of having the mantle, having someone there to be like, hey, look, come on, like, I get it, but you need to think straight. Being the person who that person was, who John Walker was before he had the shield.
Yeah.
It'd be like if I became Captain America, I'd feel like you'd be like, called me out on my bullshit.
Yeah, like I do.
Be like, wait, pack it in.
On here.
Like, yeah, all right, sorry.
No, when you talk about
pack
eggs.
it in and eat a cold egg. I'm like, so.
If you want to be Captain America, you have to eat your eggs. Are you? Hold on a minute. Does that make me Falcon in this scenario? Because I'm okay with that.
I think it's meant to be Lamar, isn't it?
Okay, I'll be Lamar. Fine.
I feel like this is going to be you can bleep this bit or delete it. I feel like you're the Steve Rogers and me and like Greg or Harry are the Bucky and Falcon.
What? I don't think I'm Steve Rogers.
No, but like that comparison, like
I get but
I could get on with your friends, but I was like, you're a friend of a friend, like
yeah. I suppose I know what you mean, but then it's that whole
it's
thing.
Actually,
like,
probably be more like
everyone's the main character of their own story. You could put like anyone into that scenario.
I suppose it's more like you and Jacob or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, or someone else I know.
Or...
It would be like as if tragically I died and then you and Sonny took over this podcast.
Yeah, it would be like that. Wait, who am I, Bucky in the scenario, or am I Falcon?
Who would you rather be?
I
mean, technically, I think you'd be Bucky.
Yeah, that would make more sense, wouldn't it? Because your mum's, I know your mum's name, and you wear newspapers in your shoes.
Yeah. And you go dancing with pretty ladies.
It's happened.
Anyway,
yeah.
On.
So then we get to the bit where Sam is talking to, what's her name? Carly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking to her, and I've seen a lot of parallels drawn between like how he is treating her to how Captain America treated Wanda. She's a kid. Like she needs to be talked to. Like do you know what I mean? Like especially in Age of Ultron, leading into Civil War. But then obviously the difference being that Carly intentionally murdered a building full of people, whereas Scarlet Witch did it by accident.
That's true. Yeah. I feel a bit strange about Carly because I love the actress. I think is brilliant. The problem is, and I noticed this mainly in the newer episode, and this is going to sound really pompous and bizarre, but she's speaking American dialogue,
but with an English accent.
So she's English, but she's speaking American words.
It's awkward,
and so it just sounds. It's like in episode 5, she has like a line that's like, "We go to battle." No one talks like that. No, that's like weird.
Yeah,
and then because
jarring,
she's like,
isn't it?
yeah, and again, I know the idea is she's a kid and whatever, but like, and because she's shorter than everyone, I'm like,
yeah,
she's so small.
They continuously talk about how she's like so good at this and like she's got it all under control, but I don't feel like we've really seen her do anything. She's just there. Like you don't see her doing anything. She gives a little bit of a motivational speech every now and then, but we haven't actually seen her plan or do anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like she's just saying,
she's like, yes. Everyone around the world loves her. Why? She hasn't done anything to help anyone. Like, it would have been better if I think she'd have been better served as. I'm trying to think of another example. Like she was being promoted as a figurehead by someone else who had ulterior motives, and like was like, yeah, we're going to do this to bring people together, whereas really he's like, no, we're going to do this to cripple governments and like cause anarchy and stuff.
Yeah.
But he is like tricking her into being
like if she was a puppet for someone else, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I know the trope. I'm just trying to think of something to relate it to.
I can't think, but I have to admit, I'm not sure I'm fully buying into the whole flag smasher thing. It's probably the least compelling thing of this show, to be honest.
Like they just needed villains. What they should have done is just made them generic terrorists, I think, and then put a lot more focus on the John Walker.
Generics.
Hey.
Sorry. But yeah, I know what you mean.
But I do like that. Like, I like that sometimes you sit there and you think, oh no, I do kind of get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And like Sam says, he's like, I'm fight. You know, I believe in your fight. You're just going about it all wrong. Or whatever
Yeah.
it is he says.
That whole thing's good, and it gives sort of an insight into why Sam should be Captain America.
Yeah, because his first port of call is to talk her down and not throw down.
Exactly. Yeah. He's not like, we need to kill her. He's like, we need to talk about it.
Yeah, like, hang on, she's like clearly hurt and she needs some talk through. Which, yeah, and again you see in episode 5, but we'll get there at the end. Yeah, I do like that scene. Oh my god, what example am I thinking of?
I'm trying to think. Like, I can see it in my mind. Like, there's the villain, and then there's the puppet, essentially.
Yeah, like, and you know, his. The closest thing I can think of is, and even then, that's not even what I'm thinking of.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say that in David Tennant's last Doctor Who episode, The Master and the Time Lords.
Oh, yeah.
But then they're not working together. He just realises that they've tricked him. But it's not like a.
Oh, it's probably happened in a Marvel film, to be completely honest.
Yeah. Oh, what am I?
Yeah, I don't know.
A bit like Ego in Quill.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, they
get
him on
He's
the
like,
side.
oh, you're so good. Yeah, you're really good. You're going to lead us, and then we're going to take over the world. Yeah, and he's like, what? He's like, oh, that was our whole plan. Like, you just know what they would have rallied around me. Like, look at you. You're a young. But then I guess that kind of detracts from having a strong woman character, which I'm not against. But then I don't know.
I think the ideas are there, and it's cool. I don't know. I just don't feel like I've been compelled enough by the Flag Smashers. I don't know. I still really enjoying the show. It doesn't take away from it. I just think out of everything, with Sam and Bucky and John Walker, they are sort of the weaker side. Especially when you throw Zemo in there, and you know you've got Sharon Carter coming back, who is definitely a bad guy.
And then you've got the whole like Sam's family issues and stuff.
Yeah, even that is more compelling to me than the Flag Smashers. Weirdly enough,
it's more compelling when they're doing stuff. When they're just sitting around talking, I'm like, I'm going for bank loans. I'm like, I'm bored. I don't care. Yeah. But yeah, and then we get probably my favourite like action sequence in this series, I think.
Or is that the fight in the apartment?
Like, yeah, when they're all just going ham and.
We missed out the bit where Zemo tries to murder Carly, and then smashes all of the serum apart from one.
No, this. Oh,
or is that what you're talking about?
I was going to get there eventually. No, I'm talking about like when Walker storms in.
Oh, sorry.
Throws him away. Yeah, no. Because I don't know what it is. Again, I'm awful with coming up with stuff for not finding examples. But like when she takes off. And Bucky Sam turns to Bucky and go, like, just go in. And Bucky's like, okay, I'll go, because, like, I can catch her.
Well, and then she bashes into him and...
Yeah, but then it's like, Bucky's the one chasing her down, because obviously he's the super soldier of the two, and Sam flies off to, like, survey the area. And it's like that moment where he, like, looks at Bucky, he's like... And again, later on, jumping ahead, when they go to approach her again, and he goes, oh, it's Walker. And Bucky, like, goes off, he's like, right, I'm on it. And it's like... Yeah, I love that.
That's sort of what you wanted, like what we were.
Yeah, I don't know. Series. Yeah, you know, it's almost like you're the big gun. Go on, and like he doesn't need to explain why, because Bucky's just off.
Yeah.
Again, I can't think of another example, but again, I'm sure there's one in Marvel.
The only thing I can think of is the airport scene in Civil War when there's like Tony's team and they're like, oh, there's two in the hangar, there's like Maximoff's over there, you grab her, and he's like, Rhodey, do you want to take Cap? And like that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but
that kind of
it's like less verbal.
Yeah, but it's like Sam knowing like I can't stop her as easily as you will.
Yeah.
Not to say Sam's incompetent, but
I mean, I did like the thing where she bashes Bucky out the way and then he uses his little rocket powered kick to like kick her into the wall, and I'm like, yeah, see, my boy can do damage too.
Wait, kicks who out?
She, or am I thinking of later in the episode?
Oh no, and you said she kicks Bucky and then he uses his rocket-powered thing.
Like when
Bucky?
she kicks Bucky and then Sam kicks her.
Oh, right.
Or is that later on in the episode? Am I jumping ahead?
Oh, I can't remember. No, sorry, I thought you were getting Bucky and Sam confused. I was... sorry. I apologise.
They have some noticeable differences.
One has wings. Anyway, before we go down that rabbit hole, fucking hell. Yeah, so then, this whole sequence takes place, like you said. Zemo finds Carly, pops a cap in her, cap. And then
you do think for a split second I genuinely thought he was going to take the serum.
Yeah, I did.
I think he
playing with it.
If we're talking about the character, I don't think he even knew for definite in that split second. But then I suppose that kind of goes against his whole fundamentals, doesn't it? Like, super soldiers can't be allowed to exist. In the trailer, did they change that line to superheroes? He says super soldiers can't be allowed to exist, and I'm pretty sure in the series it says superheroes.
Oh, maybe.
Which would make sense.
Maybe so they didn't give away the whole, give everything away, I guess.
Mm. But then John Walker hits Zemo in the head with his shield, which just knocks him out.
Which is the most, you've seen these people get beaten up and punched and everything, but it's moments like that where you go ooh, ooh, I felt that.
But then, surely he would have a hole in his head,
Nah, the shield just does what it needs to. Need to cut down a tree, the shield can do it. Need to non-lethally take someone out, the shield can do it.
It doesn't make any sense. This shield has broken Iron Man's armour and done all sorts, and yet it just dings him in the head and he's fine 5 minutes later.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It would have been somewhat interesting, I think, to have Zemo get some sort of serum, just to make him more physically menacing. I know that's not sort of what his role is in the MCU. But obviously in the comics, he has a sword and he sort of goes toe to toe with Cap and stuff like that. Whereas in this, you're never really going to get that because he's just not that kind of villain. But then,
but I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's probably better that way, isn't it?
He's a more methodical villain. Is that the Riddler?
Yeah,
from Batman. He's not a fighter, but he just outthinks him. Yeah, he is those kind of villains.
It would have been nice to see him with his mask on again at some point, though.
Yeah,
maybe
as he's going into that meeting,
Yeah. But alas,
Anyway, so then Johnny Boy steals one. This is weird. So, do you drink the serum or do you have to inject it?
This is what I was talking about with Kath. If so,
because if you've got to inject it, who do you find to do that? And how do you know where it's got to go? Does it go in your blood? Does it go in your heart? Does it go in your lungs?
Yeah, because the little thing it was in. Was there a little syringe on it or something? Did he just pop the cap off and stab it in his leg, or did he swallow it? Was it Was it like a mana potion? Who knows?
Please never make that noise again. Sound like a wet egg sandwich.
a wet egg sandwich. All eggs are wet.
A wig.
Aren't all eggs wet? Mostly.
Well, no, the shells aren't.
They are when they come out the chicken.
What's wrong with you today?
They come out what's the word? Cloaca or something?
Quacker?
Cloaca? The hole that chickens have.
A bumhole, isn't it?
Nah, it's like the mixture of a bumhole and the other thing.
And we're moving on. So Johnny takes the thingy. Yeah, Johnny Walker takes the serum. Carly escapes. And then they all end up back in the apartment together. I can't remember why
Zemo's icing his head, which I thought was...
Yeah, I can't remember why John Walker's there. Does he just turn up?
Yeah, I'm just looking for it now, and he just turns up, yeah.
Doesn't he just turn up to take... Does he turn up to take Zemo back? Or is he just there to, debrief?
I don't know, because he's not there for very long before the old Dora Milaje turn up, is he?
Yeah.
Which, I'm not being funny, they are very intimidating, aren't they?
Oh, that bit which is we have jurisdiction wherever we are.
Yeah.
It's like, oh...
They literally just chop his balls off right in front of everyone. You love to see it.
And again, what's good about this is, it's not played out to be girl power. It's just them.
Yeah.
You don't question it because they're not set up to be you boys and all this and stuff like that.
They're just them. There's no...
Yeah, we are trained. We're the King's Guard.
Yeah. You do wonder...
We're taking Zemo,
oof. You do wonder if Bucky was going full Winter Soldier mode, could they take him? Because in Black Panther, Killmonger takes on like 4 of them at once, and he's holding them off fine, and they're like going hard on him. And considering Killmonger and Black Panther are kind of equal, and Bucky and Black Panther are kind of equal, I do wonder if he was going like all out, would he be able to take them on, like multiple of them? I think I'm guessing he would. If we're using fighting maths, which doesn't always work out, but if we're using maths, then I think he could overpower them.
I don't think there's a lot of people Bucky couldn't be in a fight if he was going full out Winter Soldier.
If he was in Winter Soldier mode.
Long hair Bucky. Limited edition long hair Bucky.
Original recipe Bucky.
Original chicken Bucky.
Original recipe Clucky.
Yeah, we did it, ladies and gentlemen. Pack up, we're going home.
We got there in the end.
And so then, Ayo does her whooshy finger hold and breaks his arm.
That bit, I loved it at first. I was like, that's like brilliant. But then it started to make me wonder, does that mean they never really truly trusted him? And they weren't 100% confident in what they'd done?
Yeah, maybe.
Because they essentially put in a fail-safe, which, while smart, it's kind of mean to Bucky. Like, here's a gift, but also we could take it away whenever we wanted to, and we would.
What's more bizarre is it just feels like a weird, like, Chekhov's gun. Like, they've done it, and then I can't see it ever come back into play. Not that everything has to come back into play, but
no,
it was such a big moment of like, oh my god, like what? Like you think it's gonna be significant, and yet I can't see a way of it coming back.
I don't know if it needs to, because I think it was just a way of showing that. I think maybe it was a way of showing that even though they've fixed him and they've given him this vibranium arm, like there's it's still, I guess it's still their property, isn't it? And I think it's just their way of asserting dominance that they can literally take it back like that.
Yeah, I guess it was just weird the way it was shot. It was like done in a way like, oh, this is like significant. Like you're gonna need to know this. But then he just pops it back on later on. He's like, all right.
Yeah. How did he know it could just pop back on? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. Can he feel through it? Does he have feelings?
There must be some kind of feelings, considering what they can do with vibranium, like we've seen in Black Panther. I would imagine that there's some sort of like feelings going on. This must be attached to his nerve endings or something.
Yeah. Anyway, so then the Dora Milaje come, kick John Walker like a football,
kick him in the butt,
and then like Sam and everyone jumps in,
and he has that.
They all love a good tussle, don't they?
He's like looking strong, John.
Like that bit again. I feel like you could have shown Sam and John Walker working together, or was that back to back? Like, could this be a partnership here?
I don't think Sam would ever, like, they've never once what do you call it, entertain that possibility, because he's straight up just against the whole idea in the first place, and especially Bucky. He's straight up against it, like from the beginning. Oh, my voice cracked then.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick.
Yeah, you got a good point. I think now that I think about it, I think I just wanted a John Walker series. Like I just wanted John Walker, Bucky, and Sam, and Zemo.
There's a line in episode 5 that makes me wonder about what we were talking about last week. The whole Thunderbolts thing. I think that's if he doesn't die in episode 6, they're not done with him.
He's ripe. I don't think they will be. But then I can't blame Wyatt Russell for not wanting to come back if he said he didn't want to come back.
Wait, he said he didn't want to come back?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he turned around and was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again.
Oh, because of all the hate he's got.
Yeah, like, nah, my guy, you take me there.
I did read that he said that he hasn't really seen much though, because he just doesn't go looking for any kind of feedback like from the public, because he just doesn't really want to know, which is smart. I think.
To be fair, again, I haven't actually seen it. I'm not getting into that. I haven't seen any, but I haven't been looking, so you don't know if it's just headlines grabbing that.
Yeah, I've seen like people commenting on like Instagram stuff and like slating him, but they're not slating Mr. Russell. They're just slating John Walker.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and like you never know if like we've got this covered kind of in like moviebluff.com or whatever. Like Wyatt Russell's receiving death threats, and then you realise death threats is in the captions, and actually they're like, God, your character makes me want to die, or something like that, or like your character really makes me want to kill you, or
it's like,
and it's like
classic lad
the
Bible
context
reporting.
Yeah, and the context is completely taken out of line, and but again, I don't know. It could be legit. I'm sure it is, because Marvel. No one hates Marvel fans more than Marvel fans.
That is very true.
But anyway, so this.
Well,
what happens after this?
Carly calls up Sam's sister and basically threatens her, and that sort of gets Sam riled up, understandably. But then she says to him, like, she just wanted to make sure that you'd come and, like, that she knew where he stood and stuff like that, which I guess makes sense, but also it's a bit of a dick move.
Yeah.
But then they meet up, and then John Walker shows up, and he's bending pipes.
Oh, he's been a naughty boy.
He looks like he's off his nut.
Mm.
He's just had a quick juice up.
Because it's the bit where he throws the shield into the wall, doesn't he? And he demolishes it.
And he kicks that guy through a wall or whatever. Not wall, but...
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so good if you could do that. Not that I get into fights regularly, but just knowing you could. Like...
Yeah, I wouldn't be scared of anyone. Although, if they had a knife, you'd probably be a bit screwed.
Yeah. But then we get, them taking on Carly and her foot soldiers, and... Well, it's weird because Lamar gets kidnapped and tied up in the showers.
Yeah, and then they just leave him.
And then they leave him, and then he escapes. So, like, huh?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the point of that was, but...
I did think, like, because it kept showing the water dripping, I was like, are they going to be like, we've replaced this water with petroleum, and we're going to, like, set you on fire?
Or drown
something
him,
like,
or, like go full Zemo. From, like...
Yeah, like, I forgot Zemo drowned a guy.
Yeah,
Jesus.
pretty rough, isn't it?
He was a Nazi, but still.
I'm still fairly confident that guy wouldn't have died, but...
Yeah, because he was upside down, weren't he?
Yeah, but, like, his nose and that were, like, above the water level. Well, at least his mouth was.
Yeah, he would have had a while to go.
And if he just kept drinking, eventually the water level... Oh, no, because he left the tap on, didn't he? Anyway, this is off topic.
It's got me thinking now. Can you drink your way out of drowning? I don't think you can.
Well, I suppose it depends how much water there is. If you were in like a tiny little box that was just like big enough for your body, and the water level was like just above your mouth, you could probably drink like maybe like a couple of litres.
Yeah.
But then it'd fill you up. But then I suppose there's space in you for the water, isn't there?
That's true.
I'm thinking too hard about this.
You've got me feeling really claustrophobic now in my own bedroom.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, so then he just escapes again and walks off as if nothing happened, which is odd. Until Carly
she
whacks him out like a wet towel.
She literally, I've just played the clip. She literally just punches him square in the chest, and he flies backwards, and essentially, I'm guessing breaks his back or neck or something.
Well, he's broken his, got a hole in his ribs for starters. Poor guy.
I really didn't think that they were gonna just kill him off like that.
Did you not?
Nah, well, when it first happened, I was like, nah, he must have just been knocked out or something. Like, because then I suppose it makes sense to get rid of the only thing that's sort of keeping John Walker somewhat in line.
I knew he was going to die. There was no way he was making it through the series. But I did think it was going to be... Because she pulls out the knife, and I thought, was he going to jump on the knife?
Yeah. Isn't it Bucky says, like, it's with all the knives? Or someone says that.
I think it is Bucky,
Or is it John Walker?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know. But yeah, I thought, maybe then that way... So it's like, it's not... It wasn't on purpose. She didn't purposely try and kill him, and then that creates a good conflict. And she's like, she's scared, and she's like, well, I can't go back on it now. I just killed his best mate.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to.
And he runs and does the old Captain America thing: shield out the window, lands in a superhero landing.
I never get tired of seeing that.
Oh no!
But the bit where he's trying to wake Lamar up,
and
it's like, it's just so like heartbreaking.
Yeah, poor Lamar.
Jesus Christ,
he deserved better.
Yeah.
But then obviously we get to the sort of the big thing in this episode. He chases down one of the guys, he's not even the guy that killed Lamar, is it? Obviously, because that was Carly. No. It's the guy that said he looked up to Captain America as a kid.
He died looking up to Captain America.
Yeah, that's a metaphor if I've ever seen one. Is it a metaphor?
I think it's more dramatic irony.
I suppose everything...
A metaphor is saying that, he was a deer in the headlights. That's a metaphor.
So what's a simile? Let's not get into that.
A simile is saying he was like a deer in the headlights.
Was he?
Yeah. well, I don't know. He was dead. He died.
So basically, he just he stands above this guy and he full on mullers his chest with the shield, which is probably the most brutal thing that's been done with that shield. Right? Obviously, it mirrors the Iron Man scene from Civil War, but he has an armored suit on.
It's odd because, like, watching clips of like The Boys and like Invincible on Amazon Prime, and like and the bits of the Snyder Cut, I was like, oh, it's not as gruesome as it could be. But then I think if I hadn't seen that, I would have been like, Jesus, that was brutal.
Yeah, I think because they don't really show it, and they show his bloody hand and the shield, and I honestly think it's somewhat more effective that way.
Yeah.
Just by not showing it and just showing the reactions of people's faces. Like, it's not just gory for the sake of being gory. It's like, it's more symbolic, I guess.
Yeah. Like, he's ruined that shield's legacy.
Yeah. And like, even that shot is like looking up at him. It's like the hero shot, but he ain't no hero.
Exactly.
And then I do wonder, like, so he's just bludgeoned the guy to death with his shield, but what about all the people that Steve Rogers definitely killed with that shield?
Yeah. Like, in the opening of
Winter Soldier.
Civil War, he like...
Civil War as well.
Soldier, Civil War, like,
because he's hitting them very hard. And do you reckon it's because, like, as soon as it leaves his hand, it's not him touching it anymore, so it's not technically his fault?
It's like shooting a gun going, I died, didn't control that bullet.
Yeah. As soon as it leaves, it's like, oh, I'm not the last one to touch it, because it touched you last, even though it killed you. But that shield has definitely killed a bunch of people. Just maybe not in that such brutal fashion.
But yeah, so from there, we jump straight into episode 5, I guess.
Yeah. Which episode 5 is titled... Truth.
Truth or something? Yeah.
Justice.
Genius. In the American way. So this one kicks off with Sam and Bucky kind of apprehending Walker and
this was
talking him down.
It was an intense scene. I think I really enjoyed this scene. I think this was, as soon as I saw this, I was like, if this episode keeps up this sort of level for the rest of it, it's going to hands down be my favourite. And obviously, it sort of changes levels in terms of like tone and stuff. But I definitely think this was the best episode quality wise so far.
Yeah. Oh, hands down. Like, this is the one I will rewatch.
Yeah.
Like, this was the Winter Soldier of the MCU of this series.
I'm glad that you agree with that.
Yeah, like, I'll rewatch it for like the middle bit mainly, the bit on the boat, and like all that.
Yeah,
like but anyway, so it starts off with this fight, and this is what I was saying. Like, when he says to John, he's like, "John, look, give me the shield," and and it's like, I feel like you're. They want us to feel like you're losing this what could have been. But we've never been shown the what could have been between like Sam, Bucky, and John.
I don't see it that way. I see it more of this guy was put there wrongly. Like he never should have been there. Like the whole reason Sam gave away the shield is because he was like, nobody can live up to that legacy. So, and this is just proving it.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of different angles you can watch this stuff from.
I feel like this was the best John Walker episode.
Oh yeah.
Like, this was the bit where I was like, okay, now, right, this is how I'm supposed to be feeling about him and how this character is supposed to be acting.
But like, you can tell that he clearly isn't right in the head because he's telling himself that guy was the one that killed Lamar, but obviously he knows that it wasn't. But he just can't handle his own actions.
And I like you see Sam try and talk him down like Sam does.
Yeah. Sam goes full Captain America on him.
Yeah, and again, like we said a second ago, like, he talks first, fights second.
Yeah.
Whereas Bucky is like, and I did like when he's like, you guys don't want to do this, and Bucky's like,
yeah, we do. He's wanted to do that from the beginning. Like, he's wanted to kick your ass.
But I did feel a bit cheated that like it wasn't an easy win. But I don't know, cheated is the wrong word. I'm glad it wasn't, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like
I guess
he
did just take.
I feel that should have been a 3-hit fight.
Well, he did take the super soldier serum, and Carly was able to take out Bucky, sort of. So it must be some kind of like.
I'm just upset Bucky's being nerfed.
Yeah, I guess, but he's still the powerhouse, isn't he? Like compared to Sam.
Yeah, but I just feel like it should have been like dodge, punch, ground, done, and Bucky just cleans up shop.
I suppose.
Maybe there could have been a thing like when he puts his arm back on, he can be like, it just doesn't feel right. Like I feel like I don't think it's on properly. I need them to have a proper look at it, and then that's how you nerf Sam going forward. So he's not super great with not Sam,
Bucky.
Bucky. Sorry, yeah. When Bucky puts his arm back on, he's not.
Yeah.
Maybe Zemo can help him. He's like, I did my best or whatever.
I feel like isn't that just
right,
like what do they call it? Like obvious foreshadowing, and it's like maybe you don't need to do that. I don't know. There was a bit where Bucky gets hit and he's like half knocked out and his like arms all like glitching. Like, I was a bit like
into that electric pylon.
Like why would that happen? It's like Wakandan tech. Like
that's what I mean. Like I feel like it was like when I was saying about the whole arm being a Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Like
maybe his arm was dodgy. Like maybe it wasn't fixed properly. I suppose they don't say, do they? So.
Well, no. But then you could almost do the favour he pulls with Io in this. Yeah. And it's like, well, that can then build the partnership. It's like you've only got one favour left with us. Do you want us to fix you or your friend? And it's like, oh, him because he needs it more than I do. Like. And he doesn't have to tell Sam that, and we know that Bucky's like, picking him over him.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then that way, 6 super soldiers, or however many there are more of a threat for him because it's not like they've got the Winter Soldier there who can just drop fools whenever he wants.
Yeah, but I guess they've sort of shown so far in the series that he is the Winter Soldier, but that's not going to be enough, and I suppose that's why they need to work together properly by the end of it.
Yeah.
Get some team combos going.
Oh, I can't wait. They did one at the end of this, didn't they? Where he's like picking him up and Sam just like lurks him.
But then, how many times is Sam going to get his wings like ripped off?
Yeah, it was weirdly brutal. Like when he's like, I am Captain America.
He was straight up going to kill him, wasn't he? Like he's literally going to bring that shield down on him and like. They do break his arm though, which I quite liked.
I thought he was choking him at first. Like he was like.
Yeah, it didn't look like he had his hands on his wings. But I guess he did.
But I also feel like that moment needed. I just sound so negative. I promise, I really do like this series, especially this episode. But the bit with the wings, like, if it hadn't have been the penultimate episode, and we had a bit more room for stuff, like, I like the idea of him being like, John, my arm, like it's still in the wing, like wait, and then obviously as John goes to rip the wings off. Not rip his arm off, but like break Sam's arm. So then Sam's out of action for the fight, which I know they then do later to John. But
I think ripping the wings off is what takes him out of action anyway, and that's sort of, half out of action because that's like his whole thing in it, and that's why later on when he gives the wings to Torres, whatever his name is, he's like, I'll just keep them because he's just failed. Like his one thing that he has, like was just taken away from him.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah. That's the way I took it anyway, because it's like he's just been neutered like easily by John Walker just pulling his wings off, because that way he's just a normal guy with a rocket pack at that point.
Yeah, and then he's like, but then also he's like taking time off, and he's like, all right, I'm good.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I reckon he's given those wings to Torres, and he's going to become the new Falcon, maybe.
You think?
Or is it if Falcon becomes Captain America, and then Torres becomes Falcon,
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you.
How good is the scene though where he's wiping the blood off the shield and he's like got tears in his eyes, and it's like, whoa.
Wait, when was this?
At the end of the fight, like Sam picks up the shield and he's like trying to wipe the blood off of it. I thought that was quite powerful.
Oh yeah. I saw the hand. I didn't see the tears.
Well, it's
because Bucky leaves it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
that drops it and walks off. Which I did like, because it's like Bucky was saying like this whole time he's like, I want the shield back, and it's like. Him going like, no, Steve left it to you for a reason. I know why now.
So it's revealed later on. I know this is jumping ahead a bit, but it's revealed, and I don't know if this is like fan service or what, but it's revealed that Bucky knew about Steve's plan to give the shield to Sam.
Yeah,
and I wonder if that's like because people are saying like, oh, why didn't he give it to Bucky? Like, did Bucky know what was going to happen? Like, why didn't he say goodbye to Bucky? Whatever. So clearly he'd already talked about it with Bucky.
Well, that's it. Because then doesn't Bucky say like? Does he say like I didn't understand the idea of giving it to a black guy or something?
Well,
Like that?
he's saying him and Steve didn't really think about the complications that would come, or like they obviously they're white guys, so they didn't think about what's the word I'm thinking of, repercussions, or like they obviously they just see Sam as another guy. They couldn't. They're not in his shoes. They couldn't understand what it would be like.
Intricacies.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't understand. Yeah.
They didn't understand like how the hardships that could come from the black guy wanting to be Captain America or whatever. You know, given the state of the world.
Yeah, which I thought that was powerful. And again, as two white guys with clearly the authority to talk on this. That was sarcasm, by the way. But like, I did feel like this was a powerful episode because of, like the whole Isaiah moments.
God, yeah.
You've really got me double cross. Is it Isaiah Bradley or Isaiah Thomas?
It's Bradley.
It's Bradley, right? Because I stopped saying it just in case. But yeah, the whole Isaiah Bradley moments, like, and they didn't feel forced. Like they felt completely natural.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, yeah, like, you know, the bit where he says to Sam, like, no black man should be Captain America, and no self-respected black man will want to be Captain America.
Yeah, because it's really got you like agreeing with him, and then obviously you have Sam's sort of stuff later that makes you realise, oh, you don't necessarily have to think that way. Like he's going to think that when you think like, oh, actually maybe Sam shouldn't be Captain America, but then you got the stuff with Sam's nephews and all that, and you realise what it could actually mean to have that mantle and have kids look up to you, you know, like.
And have that responsibility.
Yeah. So obviously there's arguments both sides, and I think they put them across quite well. Yeah.
And I feel like they laid this down well earlier on in the series when they first go and see Isaiah.
Yeah.
When the kid goes, oh, are you the Black Falcon? It's like, no, I'm just the Falcon. Like, what? Like, are you the black kid? And it's like, oh, right, I see, because you're not the black Captain America, you are
Captain America. Yeah, you're just Captain America. And
assuming he's going to be Captain America. We don't technically know. But
we don't know, but
we know.
Yeah. It's in the box. What's in the box? Yeah. What's in the box?
It's on the back of the packaging. But that scene with Isaiah,
it's great, isn't it?
I mean, I'm a little gutted we don't get our flashback because, like, imagine seeing a black Captain America running around Vietnam, like, oh,
would have been good. I think probably the most powerful bit is when he says like, they erased me from history, kind of thing, and they've been doing that for 500 years, which is true.
Yeah. And like when it shows the scars and stuff, the brand,
was it a brand or was it like I couldn't tell? Was it a brand or was it like torture scars?
I don't know. I think in my head I was expecting it to be a brand, so I saw that, but it could just be scars. But yeah, and it was like Jesus, like this guy is right, like
it did him dirty.
It did, but then also at the same time you think, well, by not doing that, and this is what Sam says, isn't it? So by not doing that, I'm letting the system win.
Exactly. If you
and it's like no, you have to.
The whole Isaiah Bradley would have all been for nothing if if you don't stand up and fight back. I guess it's hard. It's hard to talk about this sort of stuff like from our perspective, but you get the idea. They portray it well. Like well. Yeah, it comes across well.
And it's good. There's no quips to take it out, and it's it's not a downer, but it's
heavy.
It's heavy, and it's it does make you think like And I love the idea of Sam thinking like, oh, Isaiah deserves the shield. And he's like, I don't want that. I don't want to be that symbol. Like that is not me.
Yeah,
like,
that to him. I mean, to Isaiah, that shield is literally probably what cost him 30 years of his life.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, because of that, and that's when Sam says like, Steve didn't put you in jail.
Yeah, it's not Steve's fault.
He didn't, but he more as well might as well have, because if it wasn't for him, and that plus being the symbol of America, which is the country that did all that stuff to him.
So you can understand why he feels the way he does. Which
I don't think we were going to get.
No, go.
Well, I was kind of jumping ahead a bit. I'm surprised we didn't get a scene of this, like a Bucky scene that was like this heavy in this episode. But
I think this was more the Sam episode because we haven't really had one of those yet until now.
What, a Sam?
Yeah,
episode?
like one that's more Sam centric,
and Sam's story and like his key. Like,
because after all, I mean, he's the titular character. Like his name is even first in the billing.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, and then obviously that heavy scene is then followed by probably one of the most like heartwarming sort of scenes of any of these shows so far, which is Sam in his home, fixing the boat. He's calling in all the favours from like all the southern folk around his town.
Mm.
And then you got
because you can hear the phone calls. He's like, "You're a Wilson boy. Oh yeah, what do you need?" It's like, "Oh, fantastic."
Yeah, it was like I was like getting like this like warm sort of fuzzy feeling, especially when Bucky shows up and just starts helping him. And I was like, "This is what I wanted."
How are you going to get off the truck? Cliff, bang, and like that again goes back to what I was saying. Like, use the tool for the job. Like Bucky's like, "Yeah, I can do it. It's fine." Like, whatever.
But then he goes and he uses the wrench. He's like, "Why didn't you use your metal arm?" And he's like, "I don't think of it. I'm right-handed or left-handed or whatever." It's like,
yeah,
well, that makes so much sense.
Stuff like that. Because
if my right arm was
should have been played for love.
If my right arm was metal, like I'd probably still use my left hand for a lot of things. Like,
yeah, like. I like the way it was written, where he's like, "Oh, I sometimes forget it's metal. I'm right-handed." I feel like they should have just had him look at Sam and be like, "But I'm right-handed," and like, "Oh yeah, of course." Like, you didn't need the whole "I forget it's there." Like, like, okay, again, that just seems funny to me. Just like, doesn't he looks at him, he's like, "Why wouldn't they?" Like,
and the bit where he's like flirting with Sam's sister. I like that.
Which, funny enough, right? Her name's Sarah, which is also the name of Steve's mum.
It makes you wonder if he maybe flirted with Steve's mum.
Maybe he just likes his name Sarah. He just likes girls called Sarah. Indiana. What was Bucky doing? There's a bit where he's like on the post. He's got a little metal poker thing. Was he like pretending to stab it or something?
Oh yeah, I think he's just sort of mucking around with it, like pretending it's a knife or something.
He was okay. I thought so. Like I didn't know what was happening.
I mean, I do that. Like if I've got like a screwdriver, I'm just like, what?
The bit where Sam's trying to lift up the trim and Bucky.
Oh yeah, and he just stares at him like. He's probably been sitting there trying to do that for like half an hour.
Yeah, I love it. Again, it's like almost Pixar comedy. Like it keeps cutting back to him, like in the montage, and then Bucky's just like, "Yep, fine." But yeah, and then he says the whole thing about you see Sam's nephews the next morning, Bucky's staying there, and it's just nice. This is like the most I do feel like this is the calm before the storm.
Oh, of course, this is penultimate episode. It has to be.
This is the nice cozy like hot chocolate, and then next week is the horrible washing up.
This is why we have a dishwasher.
But it's nice to see that Sam's like learning with the shield. He doesn't instantly know.
Yeah, I like that because like so many times in these, especially in like Marvel stuff, like people just pick up stuff like that. Whereas, instantly. Steve did, didn't he? Like you don't see him like fumbling around with the shield. But then it's nice that because Sam isn't a super soldier, so he literally has to put in the work, which makes it even more satisfying when he does pull it off.
Yeah, well, because we saw John Walker, like in his interview in the second episode, like you see a shot of him practicing with the shield as well, which is bizarre because like Sam only just donated the shield, and it's like the next day when Captain America was announced.
That wasn't the original shield. Maybe he was just throwing a dummy shield.
Maybe, but like it does beg the question. It's like, well, is it Steve who is good for the shield, or is it the shield being vibranium that makes it do what it does? Because I always thought it was Steve being able to work out the trigonometry and velocity and stuff in his head.
There's bits where like Sam throws it and it hits a tree and it just sort of like bounces off, like wobbles off to the side rather than like coming back. So it must be like the thrower. Obviously the shield helps, because it just doesn't obey the laws of physics.
Yeah.
But that scene's followed by when John goes to see Lamar's family and he straight up lies to them, saying that he got the guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you really aren't helping yourself, bro.
No, but then when she's like, "Oh, he was so proud of you being Captain America," like and it's like, well, you can see it in his head. He's like, "Yeah, I am Captain America." Yeah. Oh, we forgot about the whole the trial.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. Well, similar again. He's on trial and he tries to defend himself, and he's like, "You made me," and like,
you can
sort of. I am Captain
America. You can see where he's coming from. Like, it's frustrating because the government, like, essentially they set him up to fail. Like, everything's the government's fault. Let's be honest.
Yeah, because then the mysterious woman, whatever her name is,
like I think she's Madam Hydra or something like that.
Yeah, is she to do with the Thunderbolts?
I don't know, but I know.
Is this what she's setting up? Like, here's our card, call us.
Potentially, because I think I read that in the comics she once dated Nick Fury.
Oh.
So maybe she's like an evil Nick Fury, and she's going to bring together a team.
Maybe. It just felt weird introducing her this late.
Yeah, I did think, yeah.
But then, if she doesn't actually show up, then fine. Like, that could have been the post-credit scene, I think.
Yeah.
But then we also see... that's later on, isn't it?
I mean, we saw the bit where Zemo's at the Sokovian
That's
Memorial.
what I was thinking of, Zemo, yeah.
And Bucky's there, and he pulls the old switcheroo, and he pretends to kill him, but he doesn't. And then they take...
That shot of Bucky dropping the bullets.
Yeah.
Have I only seen that in the trailer, or have I seen that in another film?
That's in the trailer, yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure I've seen that, but it's Black Panther with the bullets.
I know at the end of Civil War, obviously, Zemo tries to shoot himself, and Black Panther catches bullets in his hand.
Yeah, that's the bit I thought. No, maybe it was just the trailer. I've seen it.
It was in the original trailer that came out for this, like, a long time ago. So...
Yeah.
But then, interestingly enough, once he gives Zemo over to the Wakandans, instead of saying, "Oh, we'll take him back to Wakanda," they're like, "We'll take him to the Raft," which is the big sea prison we see in Civil War.
Yeah.
Which
so maybe that's leading up the Thunderbolts.
That's where supposedly the Abomination is being kept. I read.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
So maybe they take all the villains there, and that's where you get the. That's where you get the Thunderbolts. Who knows? Because there was always those rumours coming out before Infinity War came out that, or Endgame, one of the two, that they were gonna. Because you see Hawkeye like running through these corridors, you know, when he was under the rubble, and people thought he was in the raid.
He was in the raft.
The raid? The raft.
Raid Shadow.
Thought he was in the raft, like maybe getting out some villains to come and help him or something. Like that was always the theory.
Yeah. I do like the idea. Again, going to the raft keeps him in this world, then, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, I like that. We haven't seen the last of Zemo, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then, you know, Bucky calling in that one last favour to get Sam's new stuff. Because that's it, he drops it off and he goes, "Oh, I'm just here to deliver, if you can just sign for it, I can be on my way." And like, that did get a chuckle out of me. I
like the fact that Bucky's like, "I'm going to get a hotel or whatever," and Sam's like, "No, you stay here." It's like, "Oh, you guys, so cute."
I know. And then when they wake up the next morning and they're working on the water pump, and he's just like, no, like, go away, like, you don't know what you're doing. Especially when Sam's like, "We need a 1/16th screw in the big gear at the front." He's like, no, I don't think so. And like, you know, they clearly have no idea what they're doing. And again, that was a good way of showing like the sister, like, yeah, she works on this boat, she knows how to fix it, and it's not "Oh, you dumb boys" or anything like that. It's not.
Yeah, it's just she knows that shit, and they clearly don't know that shit.
Yeah,
like, whatever.
And again, that's cool. Like, do that. Don't. You know, I'm looking at you, whoever mainstream Hollywood. They're like, girls can be smart too, you know. Like, yeah, no, we never said they couldn't, but just don't. Like, that's not their only defining feature. Do
you know?
And then they go off and they're arguing, and he's like, "Oh, like it's tough love." He's like, "That's not tough love," and they're like bickering as they walk off.
Oh, and that's. You know, I didn't actually catch that. I couldn't hear it properly.
And that, it's hard because the music comes in over the top.
Yeah, really over the top. But then obviously later on, that's why when Sam turns around and says, "Oh, you want some tough love?" and he gives him the advice, which makes perfect sense because he used to counsel like army vets.
Yeah, that bit. Oh, that's so good. Like, that's that one scene because I'm so excited because it's like it's those two core characters at the heart. Like, Bucky's like, no, you need to throw the shield and get the recall, and then Sam's like, "Oh, thanks. By the way, your trauma stems from you not fulfilling your stuff. Go sort that out." And it's like, whoa, right? But like, you know, they're both. They are that partnership,
and it just makes perfect
it's
sense that you've got Bucky, who is like an army vet, and then some, and you got Sam who used to counsel army vets. So like they just go together perfectly. I know they say like, "Oh, we had a mutual friend," but like, they're just such a perfect the perfect fit together.
Yeah, exactly. And we consistently see Sam being that counsellor and helping people. And again, said before, like, he talks first and then fights, which is, you know, important.
You know, when
not to say he won't fight, but
when he's saying about the like, just start with one, you know, just fix one, and like, that's clearly coming back to the old man
guy
from episode 1, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Like, I'm surprised we didn't see Bucky walking into the bar.
That would be start of next episode. I'm calling it now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like,
and then Sam.
We skipped the bit where Sharon Carter's on the phone, and she's like, "Oh, I need you to do me a favor, whatever. I got you out of prison or whatever." And she's clearly talking to Batroc. Well,
right? Yeah, because she says that Algerian prison,
and he's Algerian.
And then there's a line in
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier is like actually,
Technically, he's Algerian.
Is she the power broker?
She must be.
She's got to be,
because they haven't revealed who it is yet, so it must be her.
Because unless it was the other woman, but then what job could she be offering Walker? Unless she's working for Emily Van Camp for the power broker, but then why would the power broker not go directly to him because he doesn't know who she is?
Oh, I don't know. Well, we're gonna find out next week, aren't we?
But yeah, she's definitely like supplying Batroc to them,
which is strange because I don't know. I mean, I love
because he wants revenge on the Falcon.
I love seeing Batroc because I just obviously he was a UFC fighter and like for some reason I'm really into that at the moment. I don't know why. Just watching on YouTube, but it's nice to see him because like we said it with WandaVision, like it's nice just having these characters that are in the universe and you can just bring them back whenever you want.
Yeah.
Like makes me wish
when they come back.
Yeah, and it makes me wish Crossbones was still around.
Yeah, Crossbones and like people like Justin Hammer, which fair enough, that's Sam Rockwell, so a bit harder, but all these people are still kicking around.
I really wish Crossbones was still around. Like he could be off with Taskmaster. Like in the comics, Taskmaster runs a school for villains, and Crossbones is one of like the teachers, basically.
Really?
Yeah, he like teaches them fighting or whatever.
What, like an evil Xavier?
Well, more like we'll train you to like be really good at killing people kind of thing.
Oh. That could be fun.
Yeah, but too bad. Frank Grillo is dead. Well, not him. The actor's not dead. I don't think so, anyway.
No. Well, hope not. Touch wood. But yeah, I like Batroc coming back and then when she does her weird recruitment whistle thing.
Yeah, I was a bit confused about that.
And she's like, "We're everywhere," and then these people in the park stand up. And it's like you've got like a mum standing up. You're like, "Well, what are you doing, really?
You're not a super soldier."
You telling me all these people are now down for like storming a Capitol building and shooting people? Yeah. Like none of them are going to have.
And why are they all just in a park?
Yeah,
because
I know New York's a busy place, but man, like really.
And why would they all want to be in one place?
That
doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah,
and then obviously it ends with Sam sort of learning about what's going to go down in New York, and then
his second Rocky montage of the episode.
And he opens the case, and they don't show us. I'm like, fuck you, Marvel.
Do you think it's going to be red, white, and blue?
You see, I'm in two minds because I'd like to see that, but then at the same time, it's like it's still up for debate whether or not that'd be a good idea. Like, should he be just the a Captain America? Or
should it be something different?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it. I think it would look cool.
Thing is, this Falcon has been his colour scheme's been red for a long time, so I feel like you got to keep that in. And he was white. Well, he's red and white.
You've only got to add the blue.
Add the blue accents.
Yeah. I mean, I love Falcon. He's my favourite. So give him a new suit. That's cool. I'll just get the pop figures.
I did like what's it? Falcon's friend called?
Torres?
Toro, yeah. When he sees Bucky, he's like, "Oh, hey, you got your sleeve back. Oh, fantastic line."
Did he? I didn't even remember that. Did he say?
Yeah, he sees Bucky, goes, "Oh, hey, you got your sleeve back," and that's it. That's the only thing he says to him.
That's good.
Right. I do feel like this show was light on like quips and stuff. Right.
Yeah, it was. Well, I suppose because it was more in line with the Winter Soldier and Civil War and that, and less so, Thor and Iron Man-y kind of shit. Which I'm guessing is what Black Widow is going to be like as well.
Yeah, that's probably going to have like little jabs and stuff here and there.
I think I prefer those sort of tones. Like, I like the funny quips in that, but I'd much rather something out of this, like, oh, Trouble Man soundtrack, rather than like something like Thor Ragnarok.
Where you get joke after joke and then the jokes become predictable and the whatever.
Serious scenes are ruined by the jokes.
It's just hard looking at Bucky and he's like, "Oh, I was the Winter Soldier for so long, I've been traumatized, blah, 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 blah." When like 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, he was fighting aliens with a raccoon. Come on, my guy, has that? You're not like...
Sam literally stabbed a giant space gorilla with his wings. Like, that happened... It must have been like a year ago at this point. And now like you're having trouble with a few terrorists.
I know, and it's like, oh, that's
Strange.
come on. Like,
funny.
I do remember there being a tweet from the first episode. And it says, I wonder if Bucky spoke about this. I think we said on the podcast. I wonder if he spoke about this in therapy when he's spinning rocket around.
Oh, that goes back to the episode 4, you know, when he loses his arm. And it's like, I've seen so many memes and it's like rocket. He's like, quick, write that down. It's like his head's photoshopped on Doctor Strange and he's like, teach me. The only thing we haven't mentioned is is this is the first post-credit scene of this series so far. And it's John Walker. I've just opened my Siri by accident. I think because I said series. Oh. He's making his own shield, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird because is it supposed to look like the actual shield, or does it look hodgepodge? Because it looks all hodgepodge where he was welding it, and then he's painting it. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's making it look.
I mean, it must be quite hard to make one of those, especially in like a janky old like workshop. It's probably going to fall apart instantly, isn't it? Maybe it's more of a symbolic thing.
I think so. I don't think it's going to be able to do all the bouncing and stuff. It'll be like he's just going to cave people's heads in with it and be really brutal with it.
And become the proper US agent.
Sponge and...
Is he that? He's got his little medal. Is he going to like? I wondered if he was like going to weld that into the shield, or if he's just placing it there to like look at.
I thought, I think I assumed he's going to weld them in because he's got like 3 of them. So like 1, 2, 3.
I think that could be cool.
Triangulate them. Yeah, but I didn't realise the US agent in the comics is like he's like War Machine. Like he's a recurring guy who like works in the West Coast Avengers and stuff.
Yeah, like he's not like a one-off character.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was. Yeah, I thought he was like a.
No. He obviously starts off as like sort of villainy, but like I think he becomes like.
Yeah, but then he like hangs around as like, you've got. There is one bit, I think it's in Civil War, or Secret Invasion, one of the two, where Cap, Iron Man, and Thor all get taken over. So US Agent, War Machine, and Beta Ray Bill or Thunderstrike have to like fight them.
I like that.
And I would give every penny I own to see that moment. I was like, I love that. I love the sidekicks having to fight the main ones. Just pump it directly in my veins.
I like that. That's why I've I know it's not like exactly the same, but I've always wanted to see like a Marvel team up with like Sentry, Moon Knight, like that Thor's sister, I can't remember her name, and then like Namor and Nova, and they're like the Justice League, but they're like the Marvel versions, but they're all kind of batshit crazy. like they're all got split personalities, and like I just think that'd be a really interesting team up.
Yeah, the Marvel version of the Justice League.
But like obviously Marvel have a version, but they're like direct rip-offs, whereas like like or throwing Quicksilver in there as well because he's got like daddy issues and stuff.
Yeah, he's also like the Flash.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. Oh right, okay. I thought you meant daddy issues like Batman.
Oh, nobody's got daddy issues like Batman.
No. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to John Walker.
Yeah, this was 100% the best episode so far. It finally given my boy Falcon some spotlight, which is nice.
Yeah, we got some camaraderie between Falcon and Bucky.
Yeah, those are the best scenes in these movies. I think like it's like the party scene in Age of Ultron. Like it humanizes them, and it just makes you feel like they're friends and they're real people. Yeah,
like that's all you want to see. You do just want to see them hanging out and like doing stuff. You don't necessarily want to see them fighting all the time.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like I don't know. A lot of people thought that scene where they're walking away from each other like was going to be the final scene of the show, and I was like, no way.
I did think that. Well, when he's training outside the house with the shield, I was inkling like, what if that's like the last bit and we don't actually see Falcon, Sam as Captain America?
If they,
but obviously, I'm glad.
If the series ends with them parting ways, I'm going to be mad because I want them to be a team. All signs point to them being a team.
I just want a season 2. Just please.
They must do. This isn't WandaVision, is it? Like, it's not a gimmick. Not that show was all a gimmick, but it had a gimmick.
I do feel like they're setting things up for a season 2, like having Batroc be like a recurring villain for Sam.
Yeah.
Torres, if he's got the wings, there's now another Falcon knocking around. Which again, those two can easily tie in together. Batroc's like, I need the Falcon. I'm taking on the Falcon, and Torres gets involved. Yeah. And
I mean, if they made Torres a little bit younger, they could have plopped him on the Young Avengers team.
The Young Avengers. Yeah.
Because clearly, I mean, he must be like
But, yeah,
early 20s, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'd say so. That,
Yeah.
maybe.
Whereas Sam is like 35, I'm guessing, probably.
Because they also, like, let's assume Thingy is the power broker, Agent 13, Sharon Carr. Like, they're clearly not getting rid of all that and her legacy next episode. Yeah. So that's still out there. So that's, ripe for.
Yeah. And I like that because, they're all, as we've said, like, all living in this world and all that.
Yeah.
Well.
I want next week's episode to come out now.
Can't come.
I got really excited because I knew in my head I was like, "Oh, we've got double bill," and I was like, "No, that's the podcast with double billing, not the actual episodes." I was like,
"Oh." Yeah. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I've just got a question for you.
No, go for it.
Go. Okay. Well, I asked you this before we recorded, but I want to put it out to you and the listeners because this was a debate me and my sister were having. Would you rather have Bucky's powers, so the super soldier thing, but you get the metal arm, or like Falcon's wingsuit and the ability to use it like he does?
So I said to you before, I'll say it here now, that I think being able to fly has always been like I wouldn't say a dream of mine to be all soppy like that, but like how amazing would it be able to just fly whenever you wanted? But then at the same time, Bucky's powers are so much more like day-to-day useful.
Yeah. Like I would I'd take Bucky's in a heartbeat, man. Like, don't get me wrong, having wings would be great, but like I have a drone, but I very rarely get that out.
Yeah, but
so I can't imagine how often I would actually fly myself.
Oh, you got to go to work. Like, I suppose differently you work at home, but like you could just fly there in like 10 minutes. Whereas if you're Bucky, you're not going to want to run all the way to work, are you?
Yeah, but you got to make sure you find somewhere to land and keep your wings somewhere.
Sam's landing anywhere,
stuff,
and it's just a backpack.
Oh,
isn't it?
True,
it's not like you're a helicopter. But no, I think Bucky's is more useful, for sure.
Yeah, I would pick that one. I get the wings are cool and useful, but like, I'm not the biggest fan of heights and traveling at like Mach 4 when I'm in the air or whatever.
Yeah, but surely if it's coming with Sam's skills and experience, then you'd have no problem. I don't know. I'm just playing.
I know if it's in skills and experience, then the Winter Soldier people are ending up with PTSD.
Ooh. Okay, fine. I'm taking the wings. I have to represent for my boy. He's underappreciated.
Fine.
Like a really cold baby. Do you want to wrap this up?
I was really worried where you're going then. Thank you for listening, everyone. This one has been a slightly longer episode, but I say we've only got one more Falcon and Winter Soldier episode, and then we're done with it. We've got a few episode ideas in the pipeline before we get any more series or kind of big films. But if you've got anything you do want us to talk about, let us know. We have got a Harry Potter episode on the horizon. Again, that's going to be quite a beefy one. I want to do something. We got one next week. Comic book storyline adaptations we'd like to see. So if you've got any of those you want to chuck in or send in, and we'll talk about them. And that's it, really. You can find us on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, and Spotify and Google Play, and anywhere you can get a podcast.
All the
nowadays,
other podcast
even
sites
on
that
the moon.
nobody uses.
Yeah, looking at you, Stitcher. I don't know. If you use Stitcher, good on you. I've never used it before.
Fill your bloody boots.
Fill your boots. Find us on Twitter at the Average Pod in it. Find us on Instagram at the Average Initiative.
average in it pod. Average pod in it. Average pod in it.
It's the Average Pod in it. Sorry, yeah, Average in it pod. Find us on Instagram at the Average Initiative. Follow each of us individually home from work.
Yeah, and we
can't promise
we're both going to be working from home, so just come over.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
we'll get the kettle on.
Yeah, come over. Don't. But yeah.
I mean, you can go to George's.
I'd really rather you didn't.
Can I come?
Of course. I'm dying to get you over here. We need to do this in person rather than over Zoom.
It's going to be so much better, isn't it? I wonder if anybody knows. Like, anybody thinking we're doing it together, or if it's just painfully obvious that it's over the internet.
I'm just worried when we get together, our tangents are going to be
even
worse.
We tried it before. Do you remember? Every time we tried to record an episode, we'd end up 2 hours later. We're talking about our experience in year 6 at school.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, let's getting off topic.
Anyway, find me on Instagram, Instagram and Twitter at GeoDursley.
I'm at Creechmeister.
Yeah, shout out to Alicia Illustrations for our logo. Again, find her link below. Shout out to 5am Beats for our intro music. And check out my other podcast, The Next Take, where I sit down with my friend Sunny and we give our own spins on well-known films throughout the decades and other stuff.
Plug.
Yeah, next week, comic book adaptations?
Oh no,
we got episode
finale for
6,
Falcon and Winter Soldier next week.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited, I completely forgot about it.
Double bill.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to be elated. Alright, thanks, everyone.
See you
later.
Bye.
Bye.